I'm gonna do some kinesiology for you on me. So it just shows you a little glimpse into what a creative kinesiology session looks like. So right now, how do I feel? I think I'm having like a hay fevery reaction to a tree. It's the first time all season that I've felt that hay fevery thing. Like my eyes feel a bit like there's something over them. But I also recognize this feeling as when I'm out of alignment for any reason with my goals or tasks or what I'm doing, that there'll be this feeling of like heaviness and like I need to go to sleep or something. And I can kind of see it looking at myself in the screen now, like my eyes look a bit puffy. They're not as shiny as normal. Yeah, and I just feel like I've got 100 things to do and I don't really know which one to start with. And so I'm going to test now what's going on in my system and what I could do, what does my system need to move forward. So I'm checking, if I was doing this to someone, I would check their two arms out. And I just checked what would be the best statement for me to look at. And I just came up with, because I'm just going to do this for a quick thing, was I prioritize effectively. And I'm going to check if this is the optimal statement for me right now, as in get a yes and a no. I'm using my finger. Some people do this. Some people, I'm not sure what else other people do. I push this finger down. So this is a yes and this is a no. And so I prioritize effectively as the optimal statement for me to work with right now. It is. And I'm going to check, do I prioritize effectively? No, I don't. I checked on two fingers and they dropped. So I'm going to use that as the goal of this session. Like what can I do to bring that into balance in my system so that I can actually start prioritizing today about what I want to get done. Because I have got so much on. You know, I'm still finishing my kinesiology case studies and all that kind of thing, like all the extra ones for the nutrition and trauma courses. And I've got, I want to be talking about heart retrieval because I've been doing absolutely amazing heart retrievals. I actually think I'm going to do one to myself this weekend. And I've also got the All Remediator course coming up in September, and I want to get this promo video together because it's going to be, it's just fantastic, the feedback we got. So there's just quite lots of little bits to do, and it's hard to know where to start, plus all the other normal things like renewing your passport and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to check how my system is affected by me not prioritizing effectively. So I already did, before I turned the camera on, my sagittal suture. That's switched on now. I'm going to check the realms. So we do that by tapping and pulling a little bit of hair to see for hidden dehydration. Nothing to do with water, not necessarily. And I'm going to check my physical level. So if there's a switch off, I'm doing this here. If there's a switch off, then it's affected. Physical level, my physical body is affected by this. And I can feel that in my eyes and tiredness. Environment and nutrition, that's okay. Emotional and thought, there's something there. And the spiritual or energetics, that's okay. So I'm just going to write that down. Physical and emotion and thought. So let's see what else. My thymus, that's okay. Vital force, affected. Vital force is above 50, above 40. It's about 40%. It's not great, but it's not terrible. That's like my vitality, how energized I feel, and I don't feel energized right now. Vital force, the vital body, and that's okay. That's my aura. The immune system, that's affected. And that's above 50, above 60 is about 50. Immune response is switched off. That's above 50, above 40, above 30, above 20, above 10. That's not good. Immune response at 10% of what it could be. So I'm not using my energy, or I'm not responding appropriately to outside stimulus or internal stimulus. Let's see, that's 10. So the other thing I can check is ancestral constitutional Jing is switched off. That's like my ancestry. My ancestral spiritual Jing. So ancestral spiritual Jing, that's okay. So the ancestral constitutional Jing is above 50, above 50, above 60, above 70, it's about 60. And the healing capacity, that's good. And my head brain, switched on. Heart brain, switched on. Gut brain, switched off. Okay, and the connection between the three is okay, but the gut is switched off. Switching. So my system is switched, but not fully. And I'm going to check on what level. So this probably means nothing to you, but hey ho, this is what we do. We're checking all the different ways the system is functioning with itself. So the K27s, CV, GV, and coccyx. So it's coccyx. So it's overwhelming the present, stuck in the past. So I'm overwhelmed in my present moment, like presently. I'm overwhelmed with everything going on. Makes sense. My gut or my unconscious, something in my unconscious is maybe sabotaging things a little bit as well. And this is affecting my vitality, my immune system, my immune response. And it possibly has something to do with an ancestral pattern of some kind or something playing off in my DNA or genes or something. So I now find out I know how the system is functioning. So I find a priority. Is it this? It's the gut level. Okay, so I'm going to find out what I could do. Do I need to find out more information about what's happening right now? Why am I not prioritizing effectively? Yes, and I want to do that by looking at a remedy, a card, a meridian, a balance, a file. So we have this amazing book called Creative Kinesiology, Manual of Files, and it's like hundreds of pages, and each one, so it'll be upside down, is something to do with being human. So this is like the human experience in its entirety. And this one, for example, is like all patterns, or there's the spiritual journey, or there's nutrition, there's subtle bodies, there's the inner self. There's just like anything that could possibly happen to a human is sort of in here. And I'm going to find out what my body wants to tell me right now about this situation here. So I want to go to a tracking level. I want to go to page 1, page 2. Okay, so I'm going to look at something here. It's always there. I always go to the same place. So it's here. So the file I'm looking up is what is blocking you. Interestingly enough, it's always so spot on. What is blocking you? So this file comes up when there's a blocked flow of energy which is dominating the whole system, requiring decisive action to release. Great. So this conception of this file is about decision and flow. So I need to find what's blocking my system, and it's a number 1 to 16, 17 to 20, 17, 18, 19, 20. It is 20. Anything else? 20. Constricting relationships, fire element. Constricting relationships. Fire element. So is it about the constricting relationships? It's about the fire element. Okay, so it's more about the fire element. So I instinctively think I should go to look at the fire meridians. That's what I'm going to do. Fire meridians. No. It's going to the emotions chart, over energy affirmations. So I'm going to check. There it is. So I need to go to something here. This. Okay. So I'm looking at this. I can't see the future. Which is a liver or wood. It's a wood element, liver meridian. Future visions is the issue. I can't see the future. So let's see. I can see the future. I can't see the future. And what it's talking about is more like, if we're looking at me prioritizing and planning, I've not got a vision of the future right now. Like, what is the most important thing to me? I haven't been maybe setting enough goals or keeping my big whys or my vision in mind. So I'm sort of like just drowning in all this stuff without the hope, I guess. Without the hope of what it is I'm trying to achieve. So, liver, future, I can see the future. Okay, so do I need to look at the liver meridian? Yes. So because I'm testing on myself, it's not quite the same as testing on someone. So I'm going to go to the liver meridian page. Somewhere. Liver. There we go. And liver meridian. I can actually test this one on myself. So I'm testing the muscle here to see how it's functioning. So liver meridian hold. Oh, that's just like pathetic. I can't even hold it there, or that side. You'd be able to hold, normally you'd be able to hold that there if it was switched on, and hopefully in a moment I'll be able to do that. So my liver meridian is switched off. Do I need some information about the liver meridian? Yes. And the information is on here, 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 here. Do you need to throw your arms up in triumph, cast something off? Are you hunched forward for protection or in depression? I think all of those sort of are relevant at the moment in my life. As in, I haven't been celebrating my wins enough. I need to cast something off. And I have been feeling a bit low because of stuff that's been going on in my life. So I wouldn't call it depression. It's not that bad. I am, looking after myself and getting on with stuff. But there is a feeling of a heaviness, of an energy that needs casting off. And I am looking forward to it. And, the need to celebrate all the wins, becoming an instructor, almost finished my kinesiology, basically, degree. Just so much going for me. So the liver meridian is weak. So I'm not able to throw my arms up in triumph or cast whatever it is off. And it is hard to shake off that, I'm that low vibration. So let me see, what does the liver meridian need for me to work something out? Actually, I just need to check. Is there over energy in the liver meridian? That's definitely not over energy. Okay. So I want to do something to bring that into balance. From Touch for Health? No. From a technique. Do we need any more information? And the technique is something here, 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 here. The 5 elements, emotions. So we're going to go a little bit deeper. So the emotion that is holding me back, or that needs releasing, both. There's 1, there's 2, and it is here, 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 here. The first one is in here, in here, and here, and here. The first one is happiness. And the second one is one of those, there, is unsupported. So happiness was in the wood in the liver. That's what came up, liver meridian. And unsupported is the governing meridian. I actually forgot to check them at the beginning. I'm going to check it now. So my central meridian, switched on, switch off, switch on. And my governing is switched off. So my governing needs new lymphatics, running the meridian, neurovasculars. So normally you start a session by checking the central and governing meridian. And even if I made the mistake of forgetting to check, it's not a mistake. Like, I'm doing it now. So maybe that had to be revealed so that I can use it. Use switching the governing meridian on to clear the feeling of being unsupported. governing meridian. Do I need to look at any of this? Do I need to look at any extra information? No, just do the... So I'm just going to hold on my temple, and I'm going to acknowledge the feeling of being unsupported and see in my body how that actually feels. Or is that sinking feeling of having 1,000 jobs and doing them all myself? It's almost like a martyr, you know, like, oh, I have to do it all myself, all this stuff. And I don't. I'm actually outsourcing a lot more, but again, I'm not able to feel the triumph of outsourcing somehow in my body. It's like the program of unsupportedness is overriding the reality. So I don't know if you can hear my voice has changed a bit. There's also the feeling of being unsupported by myself. Like my ability to feel happiness and being healthy and energized and on purpose has been hijacked slightly lately for very good reasons, like heartbreak and so on. But there's a feeling that I haven't been able to support myself as much as I would have liked in that situation. I've not let myself down. Maybe I've let myself wallow or something like that. And that's okay. Like I've not been supportive of myself by being too hard on myself. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I am supported. I can find support. I have support. I support myself. I have tools and I am ready to support myself. My mission is big and I have support for it. So even though I have support outside in the world and I have the tools to support myself, part of my body, part of my subconscious, unconscious, or my body has not felt supported. There's one part of me that isn't playing ball with the I'm supported. So this, what I'm doing right now, holding my temples and switching my governing meridian back on, is we're going to the place where somewhere in my system I've not felt supported. I'm waiting to feel this shift in my energy or how my body feels. And a sigh and a big breath is usually a really good sign that something is shifting. And my eyes feel so much clearer. You can never underestimate the power of stopping for a few moments and breathing, but holding the governing meridian neurovascular points is helpful too. So I'm going to check. I am supported. And it's a yes. I am. Now I'm going to check. The liver emotion that came up was happiness. Should I do felt sense? So I'm just going to feel what it feels like to just stop and think about the word happiness. And obviously, who doesn't want to be happy? And I'm going to just feel how my body feels. Let's say, I am happy. Is that the right statement? I feel happiness. I am happy. I think the optimal statement is I feel happy, I am happy, or just happiness. Okay, so I'm just going to say the word happiness. What I want is for it to be balanced in the system. And right now, I don't know what my body's going to say, but happiness is switched off. On some level, that emotion is not balanced in my system. So I'm going to just feel into what it feels like to say I am happy, or think about the word happiness. I can feel all like weird tingling in my like cheeks and head. Something going on over the top of my head, around my throat. Tightness in the back of my head. So there's a lot of stuff around here. So I'm just going to hold where I'm feeling that. Like this somehow. I'm going to breathe into my hands. And now I'm feeling like a tingling in my gut, which came up earlier as a thing. And the gut holds so many emotional patterns, unconscious mostly. So I'm just going to say I'm happy. I can feel happiness. I'm happy. I'm happy. Happiness. Happiness. I'm happy. And I'm not really saying it so that suddenly I become happy. I'm saying it to trigger where I'm not happy, so it reveals itself. So if I put my hand across my gut, it's switched off. So just doing that, I feel very different already. Like my eyes are clearer again, vision is clearer. But there's still something off. So do I do something with my liver meridian? Yes, because it was very switched off, if you remember. Let's check if it's switched back on yet. No, it has not. So let's have a look. Neurolymphatics, neurovascular. Okay, so around the head, which is where I was feeling it actually. So that makes sense. Liver holding points on the natural hairline, about 1.5 inch side of the midline. So these are like the emotional stress release points. So I'm just going to hold them. This is to switch my liver meridian on, so that I can access feelings of happiness. I actually felt a big piece of me kind of drop into my body. Like like I'm home, like a dropping in. So like maybe when you're not happy, maybe part of you like isn't in the body so much, you know, like you don't want to be there. Like a numbness or something. So this was I felt myself drop in. Is this complete? Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else needed? So I'm going to check the liver meridian now. Liver meridian hold. I can actually hold my hand there. I could not hold it before. Liver meridian. So there's a bit of give. I'm happy with that. Liver meridian. So the word was happiness. So I'm just going to say the word happiness. Happiness is balanced in my system. And now I'm going to say I can see the future. I can see the future. Yeah. My system is positive about the future. So now I'm going to check. Is this, look at this, nope. My switching. So that's my, being centered and grounded and balanced, and left, right, up, down is all balanced. So that's all switched on now. And that, check the K27, CBGB, and the coccyx. All switched on. It's a bit too much to explain all that right now. My ancestral constitutional jing, so that's like my ancestry, what I've inherited, I suppose, was at 60%. And is that now more than 60%? 70, 80, 90. So 90%, not quite 100. My immune response was 10%, is now over. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's fantastic. Really happy with that because 10 is low. The immune system was 50, is now 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Great. My vital force was 40%, is now 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Excellent. So my head brain, heart brain, gut brain switched on. And my realms, so physical body switched on now. My environment and nutrition was switched on anyway. My emotion and thought switched on. We've addressed unsupported and happiness in my system. So the emotion and thoughts have cleared. Physically, I do not feel like this big horrible weight on me right now. Very simply, no. And my eyes, I don't know if it's visible with black and white, but my eyes feel so much clearer. Like I can actually sit and do some work now, whereas before I was like, oh, I need to nap, and I already had a nap today. So now I want to check what was going on with the ancestral constitutional jing. It's at 90%, and I'd like to see if there's anything there that's missing, like something I could do like this week. Is it something that I have to do like home study? No. Is it a remedy? Is it a card? So there's a card that's got some information for me. Something here. It's one of these. Okay, so these cards are more pictures really. There's not much information about them. There is normally a little booklet. They are the Medicine Woman Tarot. So we don't use cards in kinesiology like traditional card reading. It's more just an area of information. I have loads of different kinds of packs and cards. I don't read them like a tarot or an oracle thing. I just use them like I am now to muscle test through to get a clue or a piece of information that will trigger either some healing or something I need to look at. Okay, so the card I need right now is here, is here, is in there, is in here, is in here, is in there, is in there, it's in here. It's in here. It's here. It is this one. It is this card here. And the card is the Empress. And there's a lady breastfeeding. And she's got bounty. So she looks like she's been harvesting. She's under a tree. There's sunshine. There's a rainbow. There's water. There's greenery. So it's like very balanced in the elements. And I'm teaching the elements this evening. But I'm going to look it up anyway. Do I need to look up the book? Yeah. So there must be a little bit of information. There's very little in this information, but there might be just something I haven't thought of. The bounty. So the card, it says, do I need to read the whole thing? Nourish yourself. Allow yourself to experience contentment. Gather symbols of past positive experiences to reinforce your feeling of self-worth and to stimulate your appreciation of your own experience so far. Enhance your strong points and appreciate what you have. So that for me ties in beautifully with what we've done and what we've looked at. I mean, it's like you couldn't write this stuff. The fact that that I felt unsupported, or that I can't feel, that the liver was about not being able to feel like my triumphs, the feeling of being overwhelmed in the present. You know, if I sit and I just think of all the achievements and all the support I do have from friends and family, and the appreciation of, you know, I've got a beautiful home, a beautiful daughter, I eat wonderful food, you know, there's nothing to actually complain about. And then nourishing myself, like if I feel tired, like I had a nap in a forest yesterday. Me and a friend and her son went for the swimming, and it was so cold and the weather wasn't great that I didn't go in, but I did have a nap under, like, by the trees and by the water, and it was exactly what I needed. My nervous system just went, ah. So nourishing myself has been a big theme this last week, because I do feel more tired than normal, and I do think there is one particular tree that has just let go of all its pollen, because I had loads of pollen problems last year, and there's been none this year until now, and it does feel a bit familiar. But I also know we can be allergic to thought patterns, we can be allergic to experiences, we can be allergic to people. So I'm gonna now test if this is what I needed to hear, like the permission to nourish myself, and the permission to just the nudge to sit and cultivate a feeling of appreciation in my body through using memory until the present feels better. So I am now going to check the ancestral constitutional Jing was 90 and is now 100. Excellent. So now, I'm going to check the governing meridian switched on. The liver's still switched on. Yeah. And my final statement was, I prioritize effectively. Yes. And now my body can. And that's me going forward feeling a lot more clear-headed and some nice little insights. And I might have heard stuff I know, but it was nice for it to be acknowledged. And doing the body work, like rubbing the points or holding the points or whatever it is tying in energy work with the body so that changes actually happen on a deep level. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that was just a little demo of what a creative kinesiology session can look like. And maybe next time I'll go in on a much deeper level and share a process, a more live process. I mean, this was me just having a little bit of tiredness and not knowing what to do next. And it's worked. Take care.